With that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. And our third main topic today gets submitted to us by Edison M, who writes, "Hey, John, just wondering if you saw that Black Widow early box office tracking numbers have come out and they're projecting it could make up to $130 million opening weekend. To be clear, the actual projected numbers anywhere between 90 and 130. That's the window they're giving it right now. If it does come in that high, would that be considered good or bad for an MCU film?" All right, thanks for sending that in, man. And yeah, we were just talking about Black Widow a little while ago, and now this one. And I'm going to tell you, Rob, I'm going to say something that's completely the opposite of what I was going to say before. Okay, so the early tracking has come out from Box Office Pro. And what they are forecasting right now, it's still a little ways off, but what they are forecasting right now is that the opening weekend domestic box office for Black Widow can come in anywhere between $90 and $130 million. Now, to Edison's question about would that be considered a good thing? Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. Are you effing kidding me? If it comes in anywhere near $130 million, that blows away any expectations I had, for sure. Especially when you're considering it is a standalone movie of a character who's never had a standalone movie before, has always been a supporting character in the overall MCU, is a character that everybody already knows has died, so it's a prequel sort of a film. If you would have told me, Rob, 2 months ago, that there was a chance that this Black Widow movie could open to $130 million, insane. I would have said no way. I would have said no way. No, it ain't going to make $130 million. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. But today, I've seen the new Black Widow trailer. I've seen the new Black Widow trailer today. And I'm looking at it, and it makes me reconsider my life choices, Rob. Because I look at that movie and I go, well, somebody who's pretty staunchly not been excited for this film, or even the idea of a Black Widow solo movie for years, I'm sitting here now jumping up and down my seat wanting to see this film. And I got to believe if it's having that effect on me, it's probably having that effect on a bunch of other people as well. And whereas before I would have said, that seems crazy, today I got to say, I don't know that 130 million opening sounds all that crazy. Look, there's still a couple of things you got to keep in mind about it, though. Still a couple of things you got to keep in mind about it. The first thing you got to keep in mind about it is that you and I have talked before, Rob, that after Endgame was done, there was a hangover, if you will. It's like a lot of movie fans and even the diehard MCU fans is like, okay, MCU is kind of somewhere in our brains at the end of Endgame. It said, the MCU's done. I mean, obviously it wasn't, but it kind of felt that way a little bit. Okay, now it's finished. It's complete. It's done. And there's been a little bit of what I've called an MCU or an Endgame hangover since then. So I don't know that there's as much hype for it since Endgame. And of course, Spider-Man Far From Home followed up Endgame very quickly. And it was Spider-Man. It was the next film of his. There was all this news surrounding Spider-Man. And it went on to be $1 billion film, of course. So there's that, all the other things. It's still questionable. Look, I'm not saying it will hit $130 million. I'm not saying it will. But today, I don't think that's as crazy of a number as I would have thought, say, even 24 hours ago. Rob, when you look at and take all the things into consideration, it's never had a movie about her solo. Post-Endgame, it's a prequel movie. But that new trailer we just saw, you see these early projections of 90 to 130. Do you think it'll fall in there? Do you think it might come lower? Do you think it might come higher? Where do you put it right now?
I got to tell you, I think it could even go higher. And wow. I think because again, like with Captain Marvel, I think this is servicing a part of the audience, namely female viewers, that have been underserved. This is really the third behind Wonder Woman and behind Captain Marvel that is serving the female audience. And it's not just Black Widow. We're meeting her sister. We're meeting her mother. We're meeting the whole cadre of the Red Room ladies who are, I guess, the elite of the trained killers. I mean, this is a really female-centric movie that also is incredibly attractive to the male audience as well. And I really think that this is going to get moms and daughters in the theater again, the same way that Captain Marvel did, that sent Captain Marvel over $1 billion. And I think if this movie is as good as it looks, also, you know what's strange about this? You know what really is, as you pointed out earlier, that the tag in the trailer, the domestic scene, like this family of trained killers. Still, when you're sitting at the table with your mom, she tells you to sit up straight. It doesn't matter how lethal you are. When you get around the dinner table, we're all equal. We all have moms or dads bitching at us. And I thought that was kind of funny. And I do think that this movie looks wildly entertaining. And I think, assuming, that the public still ventures out into the world, I think this could do quite well.
Well, Rob, with that said, I made that the topic of today's question of the day. I wanted to put it to you guys. Now, with these projections that we're seeing, these tracking numbers saying could be up to 130, which I thought sounded kind of high. I wanted to put to you guys. So just before we started the show, we put up this poll on my Twitter. You can go over to my Twitter, simply at John Campea. And I put up the poll there and I simply asked, Black Widow box office tracking suggests the film could open as high as $130 million opening weekend, which seems high to me. Now remember, I wrote this before I saw the new trailer, but still, which seems high to me. What do you think the opening for Black Widow will be? And right now, only 13.3% of you guys are saying that you believe, because almost 2,500 of you guys have responded already. Only a little over 13% of you are saying it's going to come in above $130 million. 35.6% of you are saying it's going to come in right around $130 million. 51.1% of you guys are saying you think it's going to come in below. And as I stroll through the comments, I'm noticing a lot of people are saying, like right up here with Esteval Garcia, is saying that they don't think it will, but because of coronavirus worries and things like that. So again, I think it's a very interesting number. Only 13% of you are saying you think it's going to be above 130. 51.1% of you saying it's going to be below. So there's that. I'm starting to believe, I would have said below before. I'm starting to believe, I've changed my vote to right around. So maybe 115 to 130. I'm thinking right around. Rob, you're saying you still think there's a chance it could come in over. So the question here is, guys, is what do you think? How do you think Black Widow is going to fare on its opening weekend, all things considered? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.